Hello and welcome to another episode of Top Deck, the series where we take a look at some of the leading TCG deck lists. On today we have Luke Forshaw, who's actually coming in with a double deck profile. So both Luke and his friend Callum took this exact list to the same regional, both of them topped, taking 4th and 7th place. And let's get into this. So this is a going second SPYRAL list, featuring Magician Souls, of course, it's the new format. And because it's going second, it features loads of the new support and some really cool text. So I just want to quickly take you through some of these. So you'll accept that there's a fairly standard lineup of spirals to begin, but in addition to that they played an extra copy of Master Plan, 3 Super Agents and 2 Toughs. This is now slightly bigger than the sort of typical Spiral engine at this point. Then for the revival spells, as well as Monster Reborn and 2 Big Red, they also played triple Dark Magic Veil, which allows you to special summon a Dark Spellcaster type monster from your hand or graveyard. That means that if you open Veil and Master Plan, you still have a play, and if you don't open both of them together, if you open like your Souls and your Veil, you have a play through that as well. So just having the extra revival spells was really strong for these guys. Then for the sort of removal, we have the Dark Rule No More, the Lightning Storm, Evenly Matched. So just loads of ways to actually break apart the opponent's board. In addition to that, because this is the going second build, you're not actually trying to extend it into like ridiculous boards for your turn 1. So they only had to main 2 copies of Rescue, which means it's a slightly more consistent version of the deck because you're less likely to just open loads of copies of Rescue and no Souls to actually deal with that. I don't think there's much more else to say on the sort of main deck, so let's take a quick look at the extra deck. They did play Dweller and Princess Sprite as the rank 1. Obviously, if you're going second, you're not going to be using the Recycled Starling, just search the DD Crow, so maining the 1 Crow doesn't really make sense here. Better to play the higher attack version. And then we've got the Apollo, Barricade Borg, Borreload, and Boral Sword, so just more ways to out the opposing board. If you do get made to go first, you have the access to the IP, and alternatively, if you can make the IP before you make one of your bigger monsters, then you just give it some extra protection, basically. Then we have Cerberus, Phoenix, Unicorn as great removal cards, 1 Link Rebo, double Helix, double Helix, and 1 Trigate, and also 1 Unchained Abomination. We'll get into the commentary on this one just a little bit later. For the side deck, because there are no hand traps mained, they do all go into the side deck, so triple Droll and triple Gamma, the driver here, and then 3 Kaiju, just to be able to out whatever you end up facing against and not having to worry too much about any sort of type or attribute restriction. 1 Raigeki, triple Twin Twisters, and 1 Red Reboot. I think that's fair enough because you've already got the Evenlies and the Lightning Storms in the main. You have so much back row removal, plus you've got Super Agent and Tough. There's so much removal for opponents' problems that you might not even need these Twisters, but having those 4 extra side deck cards for the slower like trap or spell trap based decks like Poltergeist is really going to put you far ahead in those particular matchups. So that is it for the list itself. Let's go on to the additional commentary, and we'll kick things off with the siding strategy that Luke provided. So going against Spiral, we do have some more siding explanation explained in the further comments, but let's start off. So going first, you're putting in the Drolls, taking out the Dark Rulers. Obviously, you're not going to be breaking boards so much, so better to have that piece of interaction. On top of that, when you're going second, you have Drolls, Gammas, and Drivers, all allowing you to help break boards. Taking out 1 Veil, 3 roughly Were-Off-Thals, depending on what you're siding in exactly. You can also take out a Master Plan, and you can take out 1 of the Foolish Pharaoh Goods. It's not too much of a problem there. Let's just double check the commentary to see if he's got some further comments. Yep, so further comments on the side decking. He says, siding is basically really easy with this deck because you start game 1 pre-sided essentially, so it's just a case of swapping the worst cards around. You have the Drolls for Spirals, the Kaijus for rank up Luna as it's the best out, the Gamma package for the Mirror, or any combo deck and Geist hitting the multi-figure after Lightning Storming them, or just evenly matched against them basically wins the game anyway. Raigeki specifically for things like Heroes, or that deck itself really sucks, but they can play around Lightning Storm, so you have to deal with them. Twins are for Ultigeist and for the rank up Luna and any random backrow deck, and Red Reboot is obviously an auto win button for Geist. So let's continue with the actual full siding strategy, including the side outs then, because it'll make a little bit more sense now. So against the Altergeist, we do see, the typical back row removal coming in when you're going first and going second. Going first, taking out those removals in the Dark Rule no more, but also taking out the Wear-Off Bells. This is interesting because when you go against a deck like Altergeist, it's very hard for them to actually kill you quite quickly. Even if there are lots of positions where they can take out your life points, the majority of Altergeist players haven't learned all of those combos yet, because there are quite a lot of them and they're very difficult to sort of absorb and realize in the moment, especially when you're used to sort of advantage-based games rather than life point-based games. So generally they're not going to be taking you out quickly enough, which means you don't need to draw into your Wear-Off Elves, so you can just wait until you actually assemble your combo pieces anyway. For going second, the Gammas and the Driver come in, because if you stop the Multi-Faker, you basically win the game anyway. Then, as you mentioned, the Kaijus, Gammas and Twins are all very important in the Lunar Lights matchup. And then he says for anything else, Gammas and Drolls just come in, because you do have to be able to stop them from assembling the correct boards, basically. Then, because it is 2 players, we have 2 sets of rounds, so I'm going to show them both here at once. But I've got some additional commentary from Luke for both of the players. I think they both filled this report in, so we can just run through it quickly. So for Luke's rounds, round 1 he goes up against Go First. SPYRAL, the entire match lasted 4 turns. Both times he broke the board and then OTK'd. Fair enough. Round 2 against Orcust, no comment here, just a swift duo. Round 3 against Unchained, he said the deck was really interesting, but Sleeper is just too strong against his deck. Quite interesting given that it's a deck where they want their stuff to be destroyed, but just sleepering away the big monsters is enough to win that matchup anyway. Round 4 against Go First SPYRAL, losing this one 1-2. So Luke says that he opened a subpar hand, and then in game 3 he got a pointer of the Red Lotus for his Magician's Souls, which was basically the only place you kind of get screwed over by a pointer there. It's actually not too bad at all, a pointer of the Red Lotus. Definitely try it out. Round 5 against Trap Trick 2-1, Waking the Dragon to summon Infinitrack Fortress Megaclops won the opponent the first game. But then obviously they lost it evenly matched, so what can you do? Round 6 against Blind Second Sky Striker. I imagine this is actually James Woodward, whose list is also on the channel. If it's not already, it's going to be up very soon. No comments on that one. And then round 7 against Lunar Lights, including the fusions. The opponent didn't really know what the SPYRAL cards did, so trapped back the agent to pop the wolf, and then the opponent can't search the fusion summon. Whoops. Guess they lose. And then for Connor's rounds, so 7 rounds again, this time winning all of them apart from round 5. Is that right? Yeah, 5. And then round 1 was against Block Dragon BA. The opponent summoned the Fossil Diner in attack mode in game 1, so he lost because Lightning Storm too good. Round 2, also guys, the opponent put him into a really long game 2. But between the 2 of them, they managed to resolve 5 copies of Even the Match. That's kind of absurd. The fact that they both drew enough copies of those and resolved that, that's gotta be wild. Round 3 against Mech Knight Invoker 2-1. Easy matchups, both decks are designed to go second, and yours is just the better one. Round 4 against Mech Knight Invoker, very simple game, 2-0 this time around. Round 5 against SPYRAL, so the only loss here. Game 3, both of them bricked. The opponent had the drawing so that they could stack worse cards. If you can never get to good cards, you lose. Fair enough. Round 6 against Altergeist at 2-0. Played against a teammate, they opened Extrav Imperial Order both games. They still lose because, tough Super Agent, both very, very strong. Round 7 against Altergeist, 2-0 again. Game 1, Lightning Storm. Game 2, Red Reboot. That's all you need to say for that one. So some additional comments then from the 2 of them. So, asked them both how the event was. Luke said it was really well run. It finished quite early, which is always a bonus. Only the top tables were really challenging, and he was surprised at the amount of people that just didn't know what the SPYRAL cards did. And you could tell that they just hadn't played it in the previous SPYRAL format. Connor said that the event was really good, well organised, very little downtime between the end and the start of the round, so pretty good from that perspective. Surprised at the amount of people who didn't know what the SPYRAL cards did. Come on guys, what is the Carlisle community doing that they don't actually know what the SPYRAL cards do? Like, they're all over the place. So why did they decide to play this deck? They say that it is the best deck based off the last SPYRAL format. The deck eventually evolved into Go Second SPYRALs, just like last time. They skipped the playing Go First line, since they both gained some really powerful go second cards like Lightning Storm, and they didn't main as many hand tricks because they just wanted to draw such a good hand with the 6th card that they were able to break the board anyway. Connor said, Spiral is the best deck. Mirror is too close to 50-50, so Blinding Second, you take the variance out of it and have a huge advantage with the Go Second cards that have been printed since the last format. Hardest and easiest matchups. Hardest is the Rank Up Luna, says Luke. All your Go Second cards don't work and you have no main deck out. Spiral is only hard if you don't open the Go Second cards, and Altergas is only hard if you don't know how to play against it. Other than that, most decks are really not very problematic because they don't prepare for you to blind second. Connor says the same. What about the deck is unusual? Well, they chose to go second and forgo the hand traps, and they just play tons of go second cards and break the boards, either OTK them or break the board and set up a spiral board. Nothing in the meta can really survive you breaking their board, putting a sleeper on with the last resort, and then just sitting there. Like, I don't think there's anything in the format that can handle it. Going second gives you the 6th card, which they really needed, and Spirals definitely appreciate that. In terms of changes, they're both looking looking forward to what the top tables will bring at the next event, because that is where we will be seeing all of the changes coming soon. In terms of upcoming sets, they haven't really considered anything past the next YCS, so they're not too sure. But as for shoutouts, so shoutouts go to Jared for making the deck, Connor, Stephen, and James for coming to the event, and also topping the event, and Ninja Cake Cards on Card Market for getting all the cards Luke needed for the event. And then Connor's shoutouts go to Jared for making the deck, Luke, Stephen, and James for coming to the event, also for topping the event, and for Ninja Cake Cards on Card Market, getting them all the cards that they need. So definitely check out Ninja Cake Cards on Card Market if you haven't already. I'm going to keep saying it, Ninja Cake Cards on Card Market. Go check it out now, get the cards that you need. And thanks very much for watching this video. What do you think about Spiral in the format? Do you think that going second is the way to play this deck in the future? You can try this list out right now, head into the description, pick up the link from the Duel Limit link, and I'll see you guys in the next video.